What's up, people? It's your boy, the Saiyan Satsumi, and welcome back to my channel that's been dead for a little bit. This actually feels really weird. For those of you that don't know, I've been filming a podcast for the last almost a year now, and I'm obviously doing that with two co-hosts, and so now it feels weird to be back on the camera by myself. Anyway, I'm sure you're all here because of the title, which should be something like, "This is Dragon Ball Super's worst movie." Now, technically it's kind of clickbait because Dragon Ball Super's only made 2 movies, so like, it's really only the worst one compared to Broly. But I actually mean within the last 4 movies that they've made. So Battle of Gods, Fukuto Broly, and Superhero. And yeah, honestly, this is the worst one for me. But before I jump into that, obviously this is going to be a spoiler-heavy movie, so if you haven't seen the movie already, first of all, what are you doing? Go watch it, and let me know what you think in the comment section down below. But yes, this movie, Superhero, was the worst movie for me in comparison to the last 4. Well, last 3, including this. Anyway, I think the main reason for that is this story to me is terrible. Now, obviously the movie starts off with the Red Ribbon Army trying to be revived, which I really like. Like, that's a kind of story that I enjoy. But I think the biggest concern I had with this movie was that it just felt like really fan servicey. Now, what I mean by that is I feel personally that this movie was made for the money. Now, I know that may sound stupid. Yes, of course, they're making a movie for money, but I just feel like they like threw away any like sort of originality, because these ideas have been floating around in the community for years. On top of that, people are always complaining that Gohan is weak, Gohan should be the strongest. Why doesn't Gohan play like a bigger role in the series? It was cooler when Gohan was a teen, it was cooler when Gohan was the strongest in the universe, it was cooler when Gohan fought Cell. Obviously, a lot of people, myself included, feel like the Cell Saga was the peak of Dragon Ball, was sort of like the greatest arc that they've ever done. And it feels like this movie was just like, okay, we hear you guys, you like Gohan, you want him to be as strong as Goku and Vegeta, and you liked it when he fought Cell, so here, have all of these things. I mean, even Piccolo not being as strong as Goku and Vegeta. I really like Piccolo, like I love Piccolo so much, he's such a cool character. And I never felt like he needed to keep up with Goku and Vegeta. Like he's not, obviously not as strong as them, he doesn't have the same kind of potential as them, but he's still in there, he's still one of the strongest in the universe, and he still helps out where he can. I was completely fine with that. But then you go and give him a new form that's supposed to be, I don't think it's supposed to rival Ultra Instinct or Ego, but I think it's supposed to get him in the same realm, in the same conversation as these guys. But hey, to be honest, that part I'm totally fine with because he's training every day. Piccolo is constantly honing his skills as a martial artist. Yes, he made a wish to Shenron to unlock his potential and he gave him a bit of that and then some. But to me, that's all like the fruits of his labor. Like, he's been working really hard and that potential inside him has grown more and more. So they just sort of unlocked that. The bit extra, I'm not sure what that was. I guess that was just, that's a bit of a freebie. But he definitely got a lot stronger and he's been training all the time. So I feel like that is sort of warranted. I feel like the biggest issue that I have with this is Gohan. Yes, I get it. When he fought Cell in the Cell Saga and became the strongest being in the universe, everyone was hype as fuck. It was almost like passing the torch from Goku to Gohan. And yeah, it sucked in the Buu Saga where like he sort of lost it for a while, but then he gained that sort of status back again, only to be overtaken by Goku, and then the series sort of ends. Then we get into Dragon Ball Super, which makes him weak again. Like, I get it. It's a super weird dynamic. But I feel like people just thought he was throwing it on the back burner for no reason. Anyone that was listening to Dragon Ball knows that Gohan has always wanted to be a scholar, always wanted to be academic. Yeah, his mom forced him to do schooling, but that's because he also wanted to do it as well. When you see Gohan in the movie so excited about these like little ants and like locking himself in a room for days, he's not dreading it. He doesn't hate his job. He loves it. He loves the idea of being inside studying and like writing up a report on these like crazy little ants. So it's in his character. Now, me as a fan personally, yes, I would like him to still be this scholar and be able to like train and sort of keep up with his martial arts. Yes, of course. That to me would be like the ideal situation. But instead, I feel like we get this movie where people have been crying for Gohan to be the best, and they've just seen like memes online of like Gohan Blanco or people wanting Gohan to have this sort of form, and they decided, you know what? Here you go, have it. I mean, they say this new form, Beast Gohan, is to help rival Goku and Vegeta's power. And that would be cool if it came with that ideal situation of Gohan training all the time, but instead, He hasn't been training the whole time. When Piccolo turns up to his house in disguise, he can't even tell that it's him, like through his ki, which is something that they say Pan knows and has done like immediately as soon as she saw him. Also, even before that, when Piccolo turned up to the house, he goes to sucker punch Gohan and he catches it, and then he punches him in the gut and falls over. He should not be able to do that. And then yes, obviously he's a Saiyan and through fighting he gets stronger, yeah, we all know that. But I just feel like at least when he went Super Saiyan 2, it was a combination of him training and his potential meeting in the middle. Obviously he trained really hard, he had the potential there, and then a sudden tragedy happened with 16, and that all just sort of converged, and that's where he went to the Super Saiyan 2. He got to his next level through that anger, but through the potential and training, that's what got him there. Obviously Gohan loves his daughter very much, and the thought of her getting hurt or the thought of Piccolo dying pushed him over the edge those couple of times. But pushed him over the edge to the point where he's one of the strongest people in the universe? I really don't think so. And then to top it all off, this guy's hair is ridiculous. Not the color, I think the color is actually really sick, but the height of it, oh my fucking gosh. What are we doing now? We've run out of cool ideas, so we just decided we'd make it a little bit longer. Or are we going in between like Super Saiyan 3 and Super Saiyan 2? Bro, there's no reason why the hair has to look this ridiculous. I said it on my podcast, which make sure you go and check out the podcast, Nerddom. The link will be at the top of the description. But there's this artist rendition of Beast Gohan that I think is really accurate and would have been a lot cooler. Like the hair is just sort of more wild and stuff. He's got this sort of sharper look. That to me seems like a better idea than like making the hair sort of extra tall. But yeah, I think that's my biggest gripe with the movie and sort of why I don't rate it as good as the others. It's a ridiculous looking form. I thought Piccolo's was too for a while, but it's actually grown on me. I kind of really like it now. Also the idea that he can change in and out of that form, I really like. And yeah, just the power up that Gohan got. Yes, I get it. He has the potential to be one of the strongest warriors in the universe, I understand, but like without the training, I just don't see how it's relevant, how it's fair. And honestly, like to be honest, if you're gonna try and change my mind in the comments, there's kind of gonna be no way. If you look around, I'm an actual like fucking fanatic at Dragon Ball. There's nothing that you're gonna say that I haven't like thought of in my head. I could actually like fucking justify all of this if I wanted to. Well, that's kind of bullshit. It's kind of the easy way out. Like I'm just gonna call it like it is. Like I love Gohan, and I think that he's a really cool character, and I would love him to be on par with Goku and Vegeta and up there, but I just feel like there needs to be work put into it. There shouldn't just be this bullshit like movie that comes out that has fans crying for it to happen, and it's happened. And also getting back to this other point, the story is terrible. After we know that the Red Ribbon Army has come back and they figure out that they're trying to like revive Cell, they're using Dr. Gero's grandson, I believe it is, or great-grandson. No, I think it's just his grandson. I've seen it twice now and I can't remember. He uses his grandson to remake Cell Max. He also makes his own 2 androids, which I think are fucking sick, like Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. They were actually really fucking cool. And the idea that they're superheroes and all they want to do is like the right thing, but they're in the situation where they are being told that they're doing the right thing, but they're not. Cool concept. None of that I actually have a problem with. The biggest problem I think is the main villain. So obviously we find out that Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 you know, aren't bad. They think they're doing the right thing. They realize that they're not doing the right thing, and then they quickly try and correct that. Then that stupid little magenta idiot goes down and like releases Cell Max before he was fully developed, and then this is the start of the worst villain in all of Dragon Ball history. I think mostly because like he was just a mindless beast. It was just like a rampaging bull. It kind of like really meant nothing. He had no dialogue. All he did was scream. There was no like greater purpose. And honestly, I feel like that's something that you need to connect with the audience. And because of that, for the final scenes, like they were beautifully like done. They were really, really stunning scenes, and they were just done really good for CGI. But also, it just left it without substance. I mean, how can you really care about this impending doom when you don't even know like how strong he is really? Obviously, they say Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 were strong enough to fight Goku and Vegeta, and then there's Cell Max, which they can't even beat. So yes, it's safe to say that the power is immense. He's a really strong fighter, or rampaging beast. But you don't really get a sense of that. I think mainly because it was just a rampaging beast. I mean, honestly, you could probably argue that point with Broly as well. I get it, but at least you sort of knew Broly was unhinged. You knew underneath all of that raging there was a person with feelings and emotions that hadn't been tapped into yet, something that you knew that like you would be able to salvage after this. With this, it was just literally a throwaway villain, just like, oh look, you used to fight Cell before, here's Cell again, so everyone can watch it. That's honestly how it felt to me. It felt like they just did it so everyone could get hype about Gohan. I mean, for goodness sakes, the way that he changed to Beast Gohan was the same way that he changed to Gohan Super Saiyan 2. Something tragic happens and triggers him, a red line goes through his eyes, the whole background turns red and he screams, and then all of a sudden he has a new form. I feel like the biggest point of this movie was for nostalgia, was just for like Dragon Ball fans to get excited that their favorite character is coming back. Which again, I don't have a problem with. It's just like, I feel like it could have been executed so much better. Man, this really sounds like I hate this movie. I actually don't. Like, I really enjoyed the movie. It was fun. It's just the worst one for me. And I don't know, man, there's something that really irks me about the idea that like it was taken out of the hands of the creator and put into the hands of the fandom. Obviously it might not be, I could be completely wrong. And sure, it's fine and actually really cool that the fandom can speak out for what they want and then the creators will like sort of take that on board and try and work with it. But this one really just felt like a gimme. Like they were just like, here you go, have it. Have everything that you've asked for. A part of that gimme mentality was the Goku and Vegeta fight. Now, obviously, people for years have been asking, like, Vegeta's the best. We want Vegeta to get a win. We want Vegeta to have his glow up, right? They finally get to fight. Obviously, base mode. They can't use any ki blasts. Straight fists. So, like, a cool as just like fist fight, no transformations. And by the end of it all, when you get to the end of the movie, they're so exhausted that when they go to punch each other, Goku falls over and Vegeta's the last one standing, declaring Vegeta the winner. First of all, cool. Fucking cool. I really like Vegeta. But I feel like it goes against Goku's character. And not the fact that he has to always win over Vegeta. I'm not saying that at all. It's just like the way that they sort of like, they get you into it. Vegeta's there meditating and Goku's like, hey, what are you doing? That's not training. Come over here and train with us. And he's like, no, I'm training my mind. Goku knows about that. Goku's literally trained his body and mind. He's said it before, like, when your body and mind are in sync, that's when you're at your strongest. He knows it for a fact. I mean, like, as far as going back to the Ginyu fight, the reason that Goku couldn't draw out as much power as Ginyu could on his body is because the mind and body were not in sync. Also happened vice versa. So when you bring up something like Goku only wants to train his body and he doesn't see the value in training his mind, to me, it's like backpedaling. It doesn't make sense. Also, Goku was a martial artist. Form, hand-to-hand combat, like body to mind, all of that shit, that's his shit. That's where he thrives. Then when it comes down to it, the boy that's been blowing up planets since he was a child is the one that wins the fight. And I mean, hey, I could justify this. Vegeta has been training with Whis so long, he's learned proper form. He went to Yadra and he focused his mind and body. It's all in sync. I get all that. It's all really cool. And honestly, I wouldn't have a problem with this other than the part where they made Goku like the dumb ape that only wants to fight. Which he is. I mean, I guess he is. But when you give me lore like Goku definitely knows that his mind and his body should be in sync, and then you sort of take that away, I don't know, it just doesn't really sit well with me. But obviously, I'm sort of torn because I really fucking like the idea that Vegeta got one. But yeah, man, all in all, to be honest, I did really enjoy the movie. It was fun, it was hype. But if I'm gonna sit here and say it was the best movie ever, I can't bullshit. I can't lie. It really wasn't. To me, to be honest, like in the last 4 movies that have come out, my favorite is still Battle of Gods. It was a reintroduction. The story was cool. You get a new form. We find out that the universe is a lot bigger than we thought it was. There's a destroyer god. That movie for me is at the top right now. In terms of like fight scenes, yeah, these ones were good. And I mean, at the end when Gohan does the special beam cannon, wicked. But I think the Broly fight edges it out for me as well. I mean, like, it was just kind of hype as fuck. With the Cell fight, just with the way that Cell was, I feel like there was just not enough substance in the fight for me to like really, I don't know, feel that sense of urgency. I don't know, man. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. I promise I'm not a hater. Like, I do really enjoy this movie. I know it sounds like I'm hating a lot, but hey, there's a lot of things that like I want to point out because I feel like everyone's talking about how good this movie is, and I just feel like it's not as good as you think. But again, movies are obviously down to opinions, and I gave it a 7 out of 10, so you know that's not a bad score. Also, like I said at the beginning of this video, I have been doing a podcast for nearly a year now. It's coming up to a year, so we'd really like to get a lot more subscribers on there. If you could, please jump over to there and subscribe to the Nerd Dumb podcast. We talk about a whole wide range of things. We talk about everything in the Nerddom universe. So we're talking about comics, we're talking about anime, we're talking about manga. We actually talk about a lot of manga, to be honest. We read a lot of manga, so we talk about a lot of manga. And yeah, if it's nerdy, we end up covering it. Games, Star Wars, all that. So please, if you could, jump over to the first link in the description and go and follow the Nerddom podcast. We'd really appreciate it. Go and subscribe. And I'll also make one of these end cards a playlist to the episodes. But anyway, all that being said, it feels good to be back making these kind of videos. I have more, so don't worry, I'm not gonna ghost again for another month. I mean, I might, but I do have more plans for more of these videos. Also, quickly, thank you so much for 400 subscribers. I really, truly appreciate it. Honestly, it's been like a really tough grind to get here, but I really enjoy making these. So thank you so much for, I guess, believing in me and liking and subscribing. But anyway, haven't done this in a while. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm the Sand Satsumi. Catch you guys next time.